Now, a lot of people have asked, what's the best sprinkler for just your simple home installation? Something that's not too fancy, that's not going to break that often on you, and that's not going to have problems. And the one that I recommended in the last video is actually my favorite one. I love these Orbit, just 2 to 4 inch sprinkler heads. They're fantastic, and the reason why they're fantastic is because they're so simple. You'll notice it has a brass tip, which is awesome because it's very durable. If you accidentally nick it with something, it should withstand the blunt force trauma. And if it doesn't, if it happens to break, which all sprinklers eventually break over time, it is very, very simple to, if it's underground, like if it's stuck in the ground, pretend my hand is the ground, all you have to do is pull. It can be a little difficult. Pull it, and then you have to stop it, otherwise it's just gonna go back down into the ground. But you pull, and this brass sprinkler head will actually just screw right off. And if it's stuck, you can use on this bottom section, you can grab a pair of pliers or something and grab it off, and it's gone. It's right off. And you can buy for $1.75 at Home Depot. You can buy a new brass head. It's in there, I promise. And this brass head actually comes with a filter in it. So you can, if the sprinkler gets clogged or if there's just damage or anything and you want to replace it, the body is almost always good. This doesn't take any abuse. It just sits there in the ground. It rarely has problems. And if you need to replace a sprinkler and you unscrew the brass tip, the only other component in here is this little filter. So if you ever notice that your sprinkler is just dribbling, if it doesn't have very much spread, or if it looks like it's clogged, all you have to do with these sprinklers is go out, pull it up, unscrew the tip, and look at the filter. And if there's a bunch of dirt or junk or anything in there, you can take it inside, spray it down, try and get all the stuff out of there. And then all you have to do is just drop it back in, screw the tip back on, and away you go. You're good to go. And you can see that there's nothing in here. Maybe you can't see. Let me see. Yeah, this is just hollow. There's nothing else in this sprinkler. It's just hollow areas. The only components of this sprinkler are just this head, which is spring-loaded. If you were to take off the top, that's the one other component that's in here. There's a section in here, which is like a rubber gasket so it doesn't leak, and then there's a spring in there. And what the only thing the spring does is, like I just showed you, it drops the tip back down. So I prefer simplicity in any type of endeavor versus things that are overly complicated. So having a sprinkler that's only 3 components, that just has a head, a filter, and a spring-loaded little slide like that, it doesn't get simpler. And if you ever have anything clogged, or if you have a situation where you have to replace the sprinkler entirely, it's just got the threaded bottom, which we talked about in the last video, and you can unscrew it, take it out of the ground, buy a new one, and Teflon tape the riser, so you'll have to dig it out a little bit, and you need to put Teflon tape in the threads of the riser, and you can screw a new one on, and away you go. You are good to go. For $2, you can replace the entire sprinkler, hassle-free, and it's super simple.